I don't wanna. Oh, you said we were going to a place Walt Disney built.
No, Peter, I said supported.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure.
I am the Snow White now.
Yeah, what would the Joker say to Disney in these moments? He'd say, you get what you effing deserve, because Disney knowingly hired the most insufferable feminist girl boss in the history of cinema to play its most iconic Disney princess.
You want a nice shiny red apple to put in that pie? No!
Now let's get the latest on the disaster that is Disney's reimagining of a Snow White.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
This is not Snow White, but this is the movie that they made. And it's like, oh yeah, she's gonna be a girl boss, she's gonna liberate her kingdom. Well, congratulations, you played yourself. This is what you get when you try to push feminism and bullshit girl boss moves on the people.
There we go. Brian. See you at Disneyland. Bring money.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White.
Right.
You should shut up and do the job.
Bob Iger is extremely incompetent. He is very stubborn as a CEO. He lies to both the shareholders and the customers, hence why I like to call him Bob Iger. And the lies continue. We know that Bob Iger is continuing to go on the damage control train related to Snow White.
Right. I mean, she honestly looks like like a homeless person at a bus stop. This is and looking rough. I mean, clearly, like if you pass by somebody looking like this, you're like, dude, can I part with the grubby dollar bill in my back pocket? Yeah, totally.
So much fun, it should be illegal. Like copyright infringement. Ho ho! See you at the game, Joel! Ho ho!
Well, they could just write a new story. I mean, that's you don't have to take a classic fairy tale that's been loved for generations and destroy it. You can just write a new story about an empowered girl who wants to be a great leader and not call it Snow White.
This thing is an absolute disaster, all right? An absolute disaster. This is an absolute calamity. This is a catastrophe. This is a tragedy, an apocalypse, an accident, a fatality, a debacle. This is a casualty. This is a cataclysm, a crash, a collapse, an upheaval, a meltdown, a misfortune, Armageddon, doomsday.
Although, you know what's interesting, Andrew? It got, I think, 2.1 rating on IMDb, which is less than what the Little Mermaid live-action remake made.
Rachel Zegler learned that your star can fall about as fast as it rises. Here's a photo of Rachel Zegler taken today. Okay. Looking like a complete slob. Hungover as hell. Wobbling around.
And so hopefully this flops so hard that they finally learn their lesson.
Will they, James?
Well, Andrew, woke is a poison apple and Disney have had a big bite of it. This movie should be called, they should call this movie Snow Woke and the Seven Pronouns. It's so bad, if you were to watch this movie on an aeroplane, Andrew, you'd walk out.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go put on my Donald Duck.
It was a moment no one expected, but somehow everyone saw coming. In typical no-holds-barred fashion, Family Guy aired a biting parody of Rachel Zegler and Disney's upcoming Snow White remake. What began as animated satire quickly snowballed into a cultural spectacle, thrusting Zegler into the center of a media storm she never saw coming. The episode aired on a quiet Sunday evening. By Monday morning, Rachel Zegler's name was trending on every major social platform. The cause? A Family Guy segment that ruthlessly mocked her public statements about reimagining Snow White for a modern era. Statements that had already stirred considerable controversy online. The show didn't just tease her, it went in hard, portraying her animated self as a preachy, self-involved activist more interested in delivering empowering monologues than telling a timeless story. The writers didn't invent dialogue. They lifted actual quotes from Zegler's press tour, including her much-mocked lines about rejecting Prince Charming, and rewriting the fairy tale to reflect a modern woman. Then came the gut. Ate you punch. Peter Griffin turns to her and quips, "You know it's a movie, right?" The studio audience lost it. Online, so did everyone else. But Zegler didn't. According to insiders, she was blindsided. No one warned her. No one gave her a heads up. And when she finally saw the clip, sources say she broke down. What made it worse wasn't just the animation. It was the eerie precision of it all. The show hadn't exaggerated. It had echoed. Her exact words and mannerisms mirroring public criticism she had long tried to shake off. In one scene, the cartoon Zegler lectures the dwarfs on feminism as they roll their eyes behind her. In another, she halts filming mid-scene to rewrite the story into something more progressive. These weren't generic gags. These were laser-focused jabs at her real-life interviews, crafted to mock, not merely parody. Online, the reaction was immediate and explosive. YouTube creators dissected the segment frame by frame. TikTok users synced Zegler's real interviews with the animated version, making it difficult to tell where the show ended and reality began. Twitter, now X, lit up with side-by-side comparisons, while some fans said the parody was brutal but fair. One viral tweet summed up the moment perfectly. She tried to rewrite a classic. Family Guy rewrote her. Inside Zegler's camp, however, the mood was anything but humorous. A friend of the actress described her reaction as one of emotional collapse. According to several sources, Zegler was deeply shaken, reportedly crying after seeing the clip and reading the online reactions. At a private industry event held the day after the episode aired, one crew member said she showed up trying to act composed but looked like she'd been hit with a ton of bricks. Another reported that she scrolled through comments on her phone, visibly trembling. She wasn't just embarrassed, one source noted. She was devastated. That episode broke something in her. Public sympathy, however, was mixed. While some fans called Family Guy's portrayal cruel and excessive, many saw it as a long time coming. Zegler had already stirred backlash for months leading up to the parody. Her confident, sometimes condescending tone during press interviews had worn thin. To critics, she came off as someone who believed she had outgrown the fairy tale she was hired to star in. The parody simply visualized what many had been saying online all along, and that's where things get murky. Was it just satire, or was it a takedown? To industry analysts, this wasn't just an animated gag gone viral, it was a career inflection point. As one Hollywood commentator put it, she's not being mocked for a bad performance. She's being mocked for who she's become in the public eye, and that's much harder to fix. Within Disney, the backlash has caused visible ripples. According to insiders, executives are now reevaluating the Snow White promotional strategy. Some are even considering sidelining Zegler from upcoming interviews, opting instead to focus on the ensemble cast. Translated from PR speak: damage control. The last thing Disney wanted was for their lead actress to become a meme, but that's exactly what happened. Family Guy poured gasoline on a smoldering fire, and now the studio is trying to put it out without drawing more attention. So far, no official statement has been made by Zegler or her team, though PR reps are reportedly torn between issuing a response or letting the storm blow over. For now, silence reigns, but it's not helping. In fact, it's fueling more speculation. In comment sections that once cheered her on, silence or disappointment has taken over. She had so much potential, one fan wrote, but she let ego get in the way. Others called the parody a wake-up call, or the moment the public finally said enough. Some of her defenders have gone quiet, not necessarily turning on her, but no longer sure how to defend her. Worse still, the silence is becoming symbolic. Questions like, "Where is Rachel?" and "Is she okay?" are starting to trend alongside the parody. The longer she stays silent, the more some interpret it as a retreat, an unspoken admission that the criticism hit too close to home. Behind the scenes, things aren't much brighter. Sources close to Zegler say she feels completely misunderstood. She believed her approach to Snow White was bold, empowering, and necessary, an evolution of an outdated story. But that message, she now realizes, was lost in translation. Or perhaps it was never heard at all, drowned out by tone, timing, and the internet's unforgiving echo chamber. Even other Disney stars have been asked to comment, and almost all are avoiding the subject. It's a media landmine, and no one wants to be caught in the blast radius. Meanwhile, the Family Guy creators have said nothing. No apology, no defense, just silence. And why would they? The episode did exactly what it was intended to do: lampoon a cultural moment that had become too loud to ignore. Seth MacFarlane and his writing team didn't just write a joke, they tapped into something already simmering. Millions had already been whispering their frustrations with Zegler online. The show just shouted it, and now that it has, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. This isn't just about one actress, one cartoon, or one movie. It's about perception, and how quickly it can shift. Zegler, who once embodied Disney's next generation of heroines, is now facing an identity crisis in the public eye. Is she a talented newcomer who got caught up in bad PR? Or is she an overconfident figure trying to reinvent a story that didn't need fixing? Right now, perception is leaning toward the latter. And in Hollywood, perception is reality. Unless Zegler and her team find a way to control the narrative, this moment could define not just her role in Snow White, but her career as a whole. The longer she remains silent, the louder the parody becomes, and the more firmly it cements her image as someone who tried to out-talk an 85-year-old fairy tale and lost.